you want to work in controls automation, specifically data center controls, we have to talk about an important concept today because this video is for you. So if you deal with chiller systems, you're going to be dealing with something called freeze protection. So what is freeze protection? So if you install chillers, if your data center, for example, has chillers in a state or an environment where it actually gets pretty cold, your chiller is going to have to protect themselves against freeze protection, right? As it gets cold, or you have chill water going through a chiller, and you have different, for example, you may have glycol or something going through your chiller, and different other liquids and fluids in the chiller. What you don't want to happen is for those liquids to freeze, because obviously, like, that's not a good day, right? So how does the chiller prevent this from happening? So what the chiller will be programmed by the OEM, the manufacturer will say, okay, we're going to tell the chiller to start its freeze protection cycle early enough to start that process so it never gets to the frozen, never gets cold enough to freeze, right? So there's that. So second thing, the chiller has to be not running. So this freeze protection mode is going to happen on a chiller when it's not moving, because if a chiller is running, the water is not going to freeze. It'll definitely be warm enough. So that's two things in mind. So the way I've seen this integrated with a building management system is you're going to have a hardwired signal going from the chiller to in this case, chiller PLC most likely. And so you're going to have a probably digital input going from the chiller to your PLC cabinet. It's going to process that digital input and say, oh, the chiller is calling for freeze protection. Your chiller PLC is going to make sure, okay, is the chiller not running? Make sure that, and it's going to make sure the pump is off. So once that signal is received and the PLC processes that, it's going to start the chill water pump. So why is it doing this? So this is to get the fluids and the liquids moving in the chiller. And so the chiller may have some kind of heating element that heats it up. Obviously, when the pump is on, it's going to add heat into the system, but you're going to circulate that water around for whatever predetermined time by the manufacturer put in. And then once it's done, the chiller goes, okay, I no longer need to be in freezer protected. It's going to stop sending that signal to the PLC. PLC goes, okay, the signal's gone. The chiller has finished its freezer protection cycle, and then it's going to shut the pump off, and then it's just going to sit there idle again until the pump calls for it again if it needs to happen again later. So if I misspoke, but that's like the concept of freeze protection. It's really important in a chiller. So